What's up, gang? I am back. This is an interview episode, so just a cheeky little quick intro, because unlike me, I actually went to the filmmakers. I took the mountain to Muhammad. Now, if that's offensive, I'm super sorry. I don't know anything because I'm uncultured and ignorant as hell. And again, don't take that to the bank. Don't quote me on that. Oh, I'm getting cancelled. Anyway, so this is an interview that I did up in Glasgow for the premiere of Lock and Load, the new Nathan Shepka movie. Everybody who's been involved and listened and seen all of our podcasts, all of our nerdly stuff, we got on board with Nathan Shepka for The Baby in the Basket. But my history with Nathan goes back a little bit further because I watched his movie Holiday Monday and I just loved it. I vibed on it. I thought it was great. It was so much fun. So when he said he'd made a sequel to it, which is Lock and Load, there was no way I wasn't going to go and see it. He invited me up to the premiere up in Glasgow to see the movie. I absolutely just couldn't wait to go. Took my mate Scott. I've said all this in my review episode, which is either out before or after this. I don't know. If it's out before, check it out. If it's out after, it's coming out soon, so you check it out. But so we did an interview with Nate, Colin McDougall, his lead star, and Graham McPherson. Fantastic little interview about the movie. We didn't really do any spoilers. We got into it a little bit. So that's all this was to intro that. I'm Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. There's more, but I can't think of it. So check out the interview and let's go. Bit different. I'm at a premiere tonight for the new Nathan Shepka movie, Holiday Monday 2, although we're calling it Lock and Load.
We are.
Why?
Well, sort of at this level, it's not like we're making a sequel to Mission Impossible, so for commercial value, they often change the titles. I were originally going to call it Brothers in Arms, which was the original subtitle, but there's a Jai Courtney movie called that, and the first distributors in the UK, came up with Lock and Load, which actually really does fit the film because it's about an arms dealer. So I liked it so much, I was just like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. And then the US sales agent said, yeah, no, that is a really good title. So I think that it fits, and we'll probably just go, if we make another one, we'll probably just go with retitling it as a specific title as opposed to putting a number on it.
So no Lock and Load 2.
No Lock and Load 2, no.
So let's quickly run down the line and let people know who you are and what part you had in the movie or what you did on the film.
Okay, cool. So I'm Nathan. I play Nick in the movie, and I also directed it and wrote it.
And starred in it and edited it. No, that's Nathan. I'm Colin McDougall. I play Derek, and I just kind of act in it.
I'm Graham McPherson, and I play Agent Stokes, who unfortunately is pals with Nick and Derek.
You come back from the first one, don't you?
Yes, I come back from the first one. So the first one, in the first sort of 10 minutes, an introduction to the character. So in this film, we get to explore the character a bit more, which was fantastic.
So obviously this is it's a sequel to your first movie, which I saw and I adored. I think you all know that. Maybe adored it a little bit too much. But where did this film franchise, this first two movies, where did this come from?
So concept-wise, I quite like the idea of setting a film entirely on a bank holiday. So, it's a sort of Die Hard with a Vengeance type thing where it's mostly set in the one day, and I quite like the idea of it progressively getting more violent, the heroes getting progressively bloodier. And I guess it was a concept that kind of lended itself to a sequel because, you know how you get massive coincidences in action movies where Bruce Willis has to do the Die Hard thing about 5 times. So, I thought, you know what, this next bank holiday, they're going to end up in another situation. It just made sense.
And you guys look like you're having an absolute ball in that first movie. I'm assuming that carries over into the second movie as well, which I can't wait to watch. How does it work with your chemistry? Because you have great chemistry, but you're also the producers of the movie, the director of the movie, the writer of the movie. When do you know when to turn that off and sort of like, right, we're having fun, but we need to kind of rein it in a little bit?
I mean, I don't like him at all. In between Holiday Monday movies, I usually block his number.
Usually what kind of happens is I start acting as more of a first AD on set when things start having to happen. It's right, okay, we've had our laughs. Nathan, we have 1 more hour to film this whole scene and start getting onto it. But no, I think we are kind of fortunate. We gel together naturally, and because we have that off of screen, when it comes onto screen, we do that, but we're still productive with how we do it. So we have a laugh throughout the whole time. The outtakes are mostly just laughter. And we just, when it's time to go, right, okay, camera's rolling, right, everyone places action and we get it done. But we just kind of are fortunate that we just kind of stick to having a laugh and just making sure fun is the core principle.
And how much of what we see on screen is on the day? Or is it like stick to the script? Or is there a certain amount of improv allowed?
Well, don't want to speak for Nathan, but a lot of it, he's quite flexible with dialogue, and as long as the gist comes along, he's not precious on specifics. Unless it's me saying the lines, then he nitpicks at everything. But no, it's general kind of flow. As long as we have the idea going, we'll play around with it and make sure it flows naturally rather than getting stuck up about whether someone says shed or hut, you know.
I think that for me, the script's kind of coordinated in such a way where you've got your one-liners in there. There is a bunch of references to the first film. You don't have to have seen the first film, but then sometimes people come to you with, I think Graham a couple of times said, "Oh, I've got a good line for in here." And I'm like, yeah, just say it. That's cool. If somebody comes to you with an idea for their character, the worst thing you can do is go, "No, we're not doing that." And I think that makes people more invested in it, and you often get like another one-liner, and then you think, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, do that," kind of thing.
And if you're going by the old 22 Jump Street rule, every sequel just has to do the same but bigger, better. What can we expect from Lock and Load?
Okay, I'm going to quickly answer this one, then I'll pass it down because I want to hear what you guys say as well. I mean, I guess we've sort of cranked up the level of stupidity, if I'm being honest. There's some things that are happening that logically would absolutely not happen. Weapons doing things that in reality they definitely wouldn't do. You can't hold a mortar tube in your hand and fire it, for example. But it's people always say, sequel, make it bigger, make it better, but I think that you've got to do that within certain parameters because you imagine there's potentially going to be another one. But I think we did dial this one up, and the sort of the level of chaos is accelerated in this one.
Nice.
We brought back a lot of the characters. The bad guys have got some ridiculous sort of physical quirks going on and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if the first one was sort of the establisher, this is just pure fun. That's sort of what we set out to do.
Like, as you said in your initial kind of review from Holiday
Don't quote my
Monday,
reviews.
is like we play on certain tropes, but they work. And we've kind of followed that through, again, making it more, we've established who these characters are. Everyone who has seen it will hopefully have a bit more of an affinity towards the characters, and therefore what we give is just a little bit more. We made sure to not go too overboard with it. Like the mortar was originally considered to be a 50 cal. They were going to walk around. It's like
Nice.
No one would ever be able to walk with a 50 cal. You might be able to pick up a mortar, but not a 50 cal. So we brought it up and then brought it back down to a slight more believability. But overall, we wanted to have more.
Yeah, we're talking about making it bigger and better. What I failed to mention was darker, because with the film during the night, and it was freezing and wet and cold. So yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky because my character is quite a serious individual. So that was just a normal day for me, really. But it was good. The one-liners are good, and yeah, as Nathan said, adding in the wee extra bits from each of the characters or a wee line, it just works.
Yeah.
And there's a few lines I had to change because I just couldn't say, and it sounded ridiculous. So we had to change it in some way, But yeah, it was fantastic fun to do. Brilliant.
So has everybody seen the finished cut? Nathan, you'll have seen it about 1 million times, but
Actually, no one has seen the finished cut apart from me. You've got I mean, so Colin and his brother Neil do the post sound work on it. So to a certain degree, and then Graham, you've obviously seen bits because we do some ADR and stuff like that. But I think Graham, you'd said to me the other day, you sort of got no context of where your scenes fit in the story, kind of thing. So for 99.9% of people here, it's going to be the first time they see it.
nice. So with that in mind, is there anything that happened on set when you were making it that you can't wait to see up on the screen because you're thinking, we smashed it that day, you really got something in the bag? Any moments, without spoilers obviously?
I think probably the stuff that sort of, it gets to about 1:10 and then the next 30 minutes are just action carnage, and there's 3 hero fights as we
Oh, very
well, that's
nice.
not a sign.
That's
There's
fine.
it's lucky my screensaver was something tame.
That could have went horribly wrong.
It could have went wrong. Yeah, so I mean, I think the 3 hero fights at the end are really good, and I think there's different styles there, and I think people are going to be, martial arts fans especially, I think are going to be kind of surprised by that. But I mean, to me, it's sort of, I always make sure that it's paced quite well, so I think that it kind of hits the beats. You've got a good opening, you've got some fights and whatnot in between, and then the ending, you've got sort of a mirage of stuff happening. So yeah, I mean, I think just on the whole, I'm hoping that it builds to a really nice sort of action-packed conclusion.
Don't really know what else I can add to that one, if I'm completely honest.
Any moment or one-liner that you deliver and you think, oh, that's gonna land really well?
Do you know, there was a scene that was filmed that I was really looking forward to that I never got to be there on the day because I was away down working on something else, and it was a scene involving a couple of the characters doing like a deal, a conversation over a game of cards, and I was so looking forward to being there on the day, and just timing wise it didn't work. So I've seen it overall, but I want to see how that flies and how it sits with the audience, because I genuinely just love that entire scene and look forward to being able to see it.
Yeah, as Nathan said earlier, my scenes and everything I've done, there is no context of where they are in the film. You can guess, I might be wrong. But yeah, there's a few that I've particularly done myself. I'm like, that'll be quite good to see how that works out, and I'm not going to reveal any of them because then that'd be just spoiling things.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll just keep that to myself, and it'll be also interesting to go, I don't remember doing that. And obviously I wear glasses, but I don't wear glasses in this. I can't see nothing, so it'll be good to see what's actually going on for once. But they won't allow me to wear glasses.
Trying to figure out what you were trying to look at.
Yeah, and you're about to see it. I will tell you this, my face very confused a lot of the time, and it's genuine. Can't see, no idea what's happening and what's going on. So yeah, I mean, I don't need to act for that. I suppose that's all right.
One of the things that I absolutely loved about your first film, and the first film to this, was your villain, Barnes. I have got no idea how you top this villain. So what can I expect from baddies?
So we did a little bit of Tony McDonald, who plays the villain. He is really good. He's very intense. He's got a bit of gravitas, and he's got a really deep, gravelly voice. So he sort of brings the intensity. And then you've got Laura, who plays the chess master, who's, all the villains are totally different. So you get Laura that plays the chess master, who sort of revels in the violence. You've got Dave, who's the sort of the really springy, jumpy sidekick henchman. And then I can't say the other villain because it would spoil the twist, but I think probably we've sort of dialed everything up in terms of the number of villains or henchmen, or sort of like, the sort of boss fight. So the first one you kind of had, we actually had 4 ultimately villains, but this one we have kind of dialed it up a bit in terms of villains. And I was saying to my writer mate Tom the other day, I reckon a good villain makes an action movie better. And even some of the sort of not so great Bond movies, you get Christopher Walken and Grace Jones in A View to a Kill, and it automatically dials that film up to being much better than it would have been. So I think a villain's really important in an action movie.
Yeah, so we've got way better villains this time.
we've got some good villains, very varied. They've all kind of got quirks and stuff like that. So colourful characters, yeah.
Yeah. What's everyone's favourite buddy cop movie, and why is it Lethal Weapon 2?
Oh man, that's quite a difficult question. Let me think about that one.
Actually, I'll be completely honest, Lethal Weapons are some of my favourite buddy movies in total. My favourite scene entirely is that scene on the toilet. I don't think you can top a buddy movie where that is the central part in a whole movie. You can't top that. But for me, Lethal Weapons, I grew up with them and I thoroughly enjoyed
That's why it's everyone's favourite,
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I've just thought of something quirky here, so I'm going to use this.
Go on then.
I'm going to use a quote from Holiday Monday. The one I can remember. Classic's a classic.
Yeah.
To be fair, on the whole, yeah, I'm probably with the Lethal Weapon movies. I don't think like cinematically anyone's managed to capture that sheer chemistry that Mel Gibson and Danny Glover have, and I would probably rather see 10 sequels at 50% of the original than anything new, like reboots with new people playing Riggs and Murtaugh. I think that, I can't really think. Even a second would probably be like the Rush Hour movies, but in terms of chemistry, I don't think anything rivals Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Not even us.
So we're going to watch this tonight, and this is the premiere, UK premiere of the movie. But where will people be able to find it?
So it comes out tomorrow in the UK, so it should be on Amazon Prime, Sky Store, iTunes, and then probably a few others as well. And then I think stateside it comes out around about November.
And Colin, you're getting this one because it's the easiest question to ask. Give us the elevator pitch to get people to watch this movie.
Two guys that don't know what they're doing, think they're good at what they do, try and save a friend who's actually better at what he does than what they do together. Pretty much it.
I'm down with that. So what's next? What we're working on next? Obviously, Nathan, you and I are sort of working together on another film, but what's next for everyone? What's going on?
So for me, we're working on a crime thriller at the moment, which is quite dark, especially in comparison with this. It was I guess a way to be taken serious as a filmmaker. I mean, I know this stuff's like great fun, but I kind of wanted people to go, oh, you can actually act. So that was the intention behind that. So we're working on a crime thriller. Are you in it? Yeah.
Are you not in everything you make?
So yeah, got that going on. Graham's in that as well. I don't want to spoil too much about his role either, but it's obviously total contrast to this. And then we've got a horror coming up towards the end of the year that we're shooting in collaboration with Tom, who wrote When Darkness Falls, my previous film, Nerdly, and Flickering Myth. So I guess, the next thing is to kind of jump up in pretty dramatic stages in terms of quality and in terms of people going, whoa, really? So, I mean, we are planning on doing probably one more of these to cap the trilogy. I don't want to take it too far, but next year we're planning on starting on that, and we're going to dial it up again. And I can't tell you too much about it, but ambitiousness in terms of this will sort of like crank it up to 200% again.
Nice.
I've got some really crazy ideas, which
Well, I think if it's the one you're going to go out on, you just got to go for it.
Yeah.
You got to have that moment where the two of you just hold hands and drive off the cliff.
Yeah.
For me personally, I've kind of had a step back over all COVID stuff. Other than this production, I wanted to see this through and get it done. I've been more focusing on writing some things myself and kind of working back and forth with another couple of writers for concept ideas to try and bring something else to the light. But that's probably going to be a few years away. Final thing that I can't really give too much away on that at all. But obviously, Holiday Monday 3, whatever that's going to be called, will be our final foray into this particular franchise.
See, that's a shame. That's a massive shame.
Yeah, it is. But I think everything deserves a good ending. Like, put a boy down whilst he's
I know, but like we've got like 25 Fast and Furiouses, so I'm sure we could have a few more lock and loads.
And I think we can all agree there should have been 3.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, as Nathan said, I'm currently working on another project with him at the moment. But just before that, after Holiday Monday, I'd actually said, "Can I get a wee break for a while?" But that got ignored, and we obviously, me and Nathan speak daily anyway. But then the email drops with a script, so I have no clue what will land in my inbox in the next few months, and that's the truth. I won't even ask him. We'll just leave it to it and see what happens next.
Good. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for jumping on and talking to me about this. I can't wait to watch the movie tonight. Obviously, I'll be putting a review out afterwards and everything like that, so look out for that. But yeah, anything you want to say before we leave?
Not really. I mean, I guess the whole kind of purpose of this film was not to take it too seriously, and I'm kind of hoping that the way that people react tonight is they sort of catch the tone from the first 2 scenes, which is, I think we got a good opener in there, and as long as they kind of latch onto that and go with it as pure entertainment value, I think that people enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that was like one of my things when I first sat down to watch Holiday Monday. There was just sort of like, after about 5-10 minutes, I was like, I know what this is now.
Yeah.
And it was like, I love this. But
Yeah.
you caught my heart, so, and I think you know that.
Yeah.
And you guys, anything you want to say before we leave?
For those that do choose to watch the film, I genuinely hope you enjoy it. We did enjoy making it, and we enjoy making them, which is why we do it. And as you said before, we do this for you guys that choose to watch these kinds of films. And so watch it with an open heart or an open mind and have a laugh with us. That's why we're here.
Yeah, just following on from what Colin said there, have a laugh with us. Yeah, not as well. Yeah, of course. Yeah, as a lot of work goes into these things, but it is such good fun. We do have such a laugh. You just, even tonight coming here, you're starting to think about all the scenes we did and all of the sort of background stuff, and it's just so much fun. And the rubbish catering, and I've actually got photos on my phone of the catering. It was that bad.
Morrison's meal deals.
That would have been great. But we'll not go into that. I mean, the prawn cocktail starter doesn't count as crisps, Anyway. But yeah, fantastic. I mean, we're not even started yet and we're starting. So yeah, be prepared to have sore ribs from laughing.
Absolutely. And once this movie does hit platforms, we will be showing it out on Nerdly. We'll be putting all the links out, everything like that. There'll be links in the descriptions for this video, all that good stuff. And please do check out Lock and Load and come back for the 3rd one, because that's got me excited. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, one time.
Cash. Tango and Cash was a far better film than Lethal Weapon.
Remember this time last year when you said you wanted to quit all of this? What made you change your mind?
I'd miss the smell of gunpowder.
What about fistfights?
And explosions.
So what's going on?
Stokes is missing.
I got a call around 8 a.m. They said they needed him in for an urgent operation.
Miles Steiger, international arms dealer. We found out that Steiger was closing a contract with a terrorist.
We both need this deal to go through as safely as possible.
Sting operation went south. Stokes went missing.
Go deal.
What's your business with Miles Steiger? He owns that private airfield. He oversees everything.
We would just over and out of that meet.
We're about to go on a raid, but the clock's ticking and we need to move.
So I'd rather hope you would tell me who your friends are.
The 2 cowboys at a tent making us a bank holiday to remember.
Doesn't anyone take days off?
Nah, that's alright. We're never that busy on bank holidays. moving the target closer.